Good morning, 1B. Do you know where I am today? I'm somewhere in Australia that has lots of animals, lots of trees and grass, and lots of emus, wombats, echidnas, koalas. Where could I be? Today, I'm in the Australian bush, and we're going to learn all about native Australian animals. We're first going to do a visual arts activity about Australian animals and what they like to eat. Now, they don't like to eat Krispy Kreme donuts like us. Can you think about what they like to eat? Well, before I did one about an emu. And I know emus also like to eat bugs, but I don't think it's very nice if we crush up bugs and use them for our artwork. I think we should just let them enjoy the garden. So we'll use some leaves instead. You might have to squint to see them. How about we do a painting and a drawing about what Australian animals like to eat? Come closer and I'll show you how to do it. Now that you're all nice and close, let's start with what we need for this activity. For this activity, you will need a little tub of water and some paintbrushes, some special watercolor paper so our painting stays on the paper and the paper doesn't break down. We'll need some oil pastels, some lovely leaves, and some watercolors. What we're going to do first is we're going to draw our animal. Before, I drew an emu and I used different shapes of lines and different sizes to draw its long neck and its messy feathers around its face. Today, I'm going to draw a wombat. I'm going to use a brown to draw my wombat. And while wombats have a little bit of a rugged coat, I'm just going to do a soft line all the way around to represent my wombat. I'm going to draw a big ear and a big body and a little tail at the end. We're going to go down and draw some legs. And we're going to go down again and draw another leg. And we're going to go up. Can you see the difference between my emu and my wombat? My wombat has a soft line all the way around to represent its soft coat. Whereas my emu has its long line to represent its straggly feathers. Now I'm going to use a black oil pastel to draw the nose of my wombat, its smiley face, and its eye. What animal are you going to draw? Are you going to draw a soft animal, like a wombat? Or an animal that needs lines to demonstrate its different fur or feathers, like my emu? You might want to draw an echidna with long lines or a koala with soft fur. Our next step, we're going to get our paintbrush and some water and we're going to dip it in like this. And we're going to paint it. Just do a soft layer with water. You might need to dip your paintbrush back into the water a few times just to get enough water on it. We're going to keep going and paint a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to do a little bit more. I chose a wombat to draw because I think they're really awesome animals. A couple of years ago, we had really bad bushfires in Australia. And there were stories about how wombats let other animals into their burrows to let them stay there and to rescue them while the fire was going on. So they all had a safe place to stay, out of the heat and away from the flames. Our next job to do is we're going to get our watercolors and choose one color that we believe represents our animal. We're going to choose a different color later on. I'm first going to choose this color here because it reminds me of the dirt where wombats like to dig in. Now I'm just going to splash it and put it down. You might like to hold it down and splotch it like I am, or you might like to paint across like this. It's up to you. I'm going to paint across my wombat. A little bit more. I'm going to do some splotches like I did before as well. If you're doing another animal, you might like to choose a green because it lives in trees. Or you might like to choose a red like I did for my emu to represent the outback. It's up to you which colour you like to choose, but later on we'll be having a discussion about why we chose our animal and the different colours that represent it. The next colour I'm going to choose is this beautiful red here. I'm choosing this red because it reminds me of the fires and how helpful the wombats were during this time. How they went out of their way and helped other animals. They teach us a lot about friendships, especially during hard times, and how we can go above and beyond to help those in need. I think that's very admirable. I'm going to keep splotching it on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Splotch, splotch, splotch. Some more water. You might like to add some more water so your colour spreads some more. I'm going to add some more onto my wombat's body. It doesn't have to go everywhere. There might be some colours you leave blank because you want to draw focus to that area. And that's totally okay. This is your artwork and it's up to you to choose whatever you want to do. You just have the guidelines of what I'm doing. And from there, you just let your creativity take you wherever you want to. Now we're going to get our leaves. And we're going to use one of the colours that we used before to paint them. I'm going to use this red. And I'm going to paint it on the back using my watercolour, making sure I have enough water on my paintbrush. And I'm going to stroke it. You don't have to cover it all, just make sure you have enough on. I'm going to place it down and paint it on like this. Making sure it's flat on the paper with our paintbrush. I'm going to get another leaf, get the other colour that we used, and paint this on the back. Getting some more water if I need to, and painting it on. Have you ever seen a wombat in the wild? What Australian animals have you seen in the wild? Sometimes I see kangaroos while I drive to school. They're really cool. Other times I see koalas up in the tree near our classroom. And we're going to lay our final leaf on. Now we're going to wait for it to dry, grade 1. When we come back, we're going to talk about our artwork, about the animal we chose and why we chose it, and the colours we chose and why we chose them. Now remember, I chose my wombat because I think they're an amazing animal because they help out their friends when their friends need help. I chose the brown because that's reminded me of the ground that the wombats dig in. And I chose the red to represent the bushfires and how the wombats really stepped up and helped out during that time. We'll talk about this more later on when this dries. I'll see you soon. Okay, so we've waited a little while, grade 1, and I think our artwork should be done. Now, some of our leaves might not have turned out well, and some might have turned out fantastic. But that's okay. We're all learning and we're all trying our best. And that's what matters, guys. Now, are you ready? Oh, that one leaf just fell off and it looks good. How about this one? That one's okay. It's pretty good. Oh my goodness, this one printed beautifully. Now can you hold up your painting and show your classmates? Now we're going to move into a circle and talk about our paintings. You already heard why I painted mine, and I can't wait to hear why you painted yours. We have another activity to do next as well. So get in the circle and let's get our listening ears on to hear what our friends have made.